on, yes. First pitch a little after 7 o'clock with Michael Kay and David Cohn. And then Jack Meredith and I will have a complete wrap-up coming up on the post-game show later on. Yankees win the opener 3-2. Look forward to seeing you again at 6:30.
Welcome to the Aura Sleep Lab. You need a bit more deep sleep. Getting enough high-quality sleep increases immunity. Why? Because sleep helps fend off sickness. A good night's sleep boosts your number of infection-fighting antibodies and cells. And with your Aura Ring, you can learn how to sleep deep and keep your immunity up. It's like having a sleep lab on your finger. Go to sleep with auraring.com.
You'll never get old. Seeing doesn't come easy for me. I Need Glasses, and Pair Eyewear is my new favorite glasses brand. They have really cute, lightweight, comfortable frames, and the best part is you can change up your look. If you get a few toppers, the possibilities are endless. The combos that you can come up with. What? Pair has solved everything I don't like about being a glasses wearer, which is looking the same every day. It's no fun.
Zach Wilson is the reason why this team misses the playoffs. Robert Sala's going to be out of a job. Now, they could blame the fact that Rodgers got hurt, but I think we all agree that this still is a very talented team. And if it still comes back to that pick biting them in the fanny, I think jobs could be lost. So it's not like they're doing this without some ramifications. They know, so they must really see something that the world doesn't see.
Unless they're saying this today, guys, though, because they don't want to get held up for any deal that they might make. Although everybody's going to know that they're looking for a quarterback.
Well, and also, and you don't even know, is it a deal? Is that really what the move would be, Michael? Are they going to make a deal? Are they going to try to go out and talk to Atlanta about to Taylor Heineke and trading?
They should be.
And my guess is, Michael, what would you have to do now? Knowing where the position the Falcons are in and what the position you're in, they're going to hold you up for like a second-round pick. This is a quarterback you need. What do you think you give up to get someone who they went out and paid money to get?
The only high draft pick that I'd give up was if you could get Matthew Stafford from the Rams.
And you'd give up what, as high as a second-rounder?
Yeah, maybe, but he's an older quarterback, so I'd start with a fourth or a third. Now the Jets did return they retained their first-round pick for next year. Because if Rodgers, you had to give them a first-round pick if he played 70% of the snaps. Well, he didn't. He's not going to. So now it's a second-rounder that you give to Green Bay, and it's unbelievable that we're even talking about this.
But why would Atlanta part ways with Heineke? I mean, they've got a kid at Ritter at quarterback that they drafted high, but they might be able to win this division.
Yeah, you're right. So they might not. And Joe Flacco has made it known to the Jets that he wants to come back. No, that's not the way to go.
No, please don't do that, guys.
I'd rather have Colt McCoy.
Please, no, that's not the way to go. Oh, I'd definitely rather get Colt McCoy. Joe Flacco is not capable anymore, guys. There's only one person in the world who believed in Joe Flacco, and he no longer calls our show, sadly.
Sadly, you said?
No.
I think it's just something you say.
I was being nice.
So, I mean, were you guys just flabbergasted when it happened?
Of course. It was surreal. How could it happen to this team again?
Michael, I've never felt that strongly about a team that I don't root for. I was heartbroken for them. I still am.
It's funny you said that, Peter. I didn't grow up a Jet fan. And I have an affinity for them because we've worked with them for so many years as they're on our station. And I felt like really sad. Because, I mean, we didn't even get a chance to enjoy watching one of the top quarterbacks who ever lived. We didn't get a chance. We didn't get a chance to enjoy, to see what the Jets could become. And I felt choked up. I know that sounds dramatic. I didn't cry or anything, but I felt sad as a sports fan. You want to see the great ones. You don't want to see it taken away like that. And then I started to feel even worse for Jet fans. I can't even imagine how they felt.
And also, from our work standpoint, and I know a lot of sports talk radio is driven by negativity. You saw it with the Yankee season last year. People are going to harp on negative. You see it with all the sports teams. That seems to really drive the phones and drive the interest in sports radio. But A lot of that comes because we haven't won in a long time. And to see a team go on a run, that's fun for everybody. I know the Giant fans don't care. I get there's always going to be a segment of the population that doesn't care what the Jets do or whatever any given team does.
Yeah, but
just be able to have something fun to talk about after this baseball season where everything went haywire. And then there was so much optimism around the Rangers, and they went out in the first round. And the Knicks have been a disappointment for a long time, not being able to get out of the second round. To finally have a team that's on our air to talk about and have the team be good and have the team be special. Now, I still think that can happen in a lesser light, and it still could be a fun season, but not what you expected, not what you signed up for.
And, Michael, particularly for me, the thing that I found mind-blowing was the juxtaposition of him running on the field like Hulk Hogan in the heyday of Hulkamania. The American flag, it was such a moment, Michael. It was such a statement. On 9/11, he came out last, waving the American flag. This was just a guy who wanted this in every way. Like, he was going to own this moment and be the face of football in this city. And to have it end that quickly, Michael, without a completion, without a yard gain, without a first down, without anything. I just can't see how you could be a sports fan and not find it heartbreaking.
And another thing that you have to consider when you're looking at this and really breaking it down, if you're building your team around an aging quarterback, the most important thing is to build a great offensive line. And in the 4 plays that he had, they were all over him. They were all over him, and the Brown had to do like a block to bring down the guy's hands, but the guy got to him. So it's just awful. We're seeing that with the Giants as well and the Jets. I mean, the offensive line is key. It's absolutely key, and the older a quarterback gets, the more key it becomes. You've got to protect these guys. The whole game is predicated on their performance.
And I don't believe it's because you hear phone calls from people. Why didn't they address the offensive line? They have. They have just not done a good enough job to get the right people in there. Both the Jets and the Giants prioritized protecting their franchise quarterback, and neither of them have done a good enough job. And that's supposed to be Joe Douglas' specialty, is finding offensive linemen. So that's a scary thing too, Michael, as far as like not getting a better backup quarterback for Wilson, because Wilson can get hurt.
Right.
Then what do you do? So they're going to have to get somebody. I think they will, but I don't think they're getting anybody to challenge Zach. I really believe them when they say that Zach Wilson is their guy.
I don't want them to go get Mike White. Is that fair?
That's completely fair.
I mentioned this earlier in the show, Michael. How much more optimistic would Jet fans be if Mike White was still here?
Well, they're delusional if they'd be optimistic.
But they'd be optimistic. Still a fact.
I just, you know what you wish that yesterday. Listen, you got to respect. I don't use this word often, Don, but you got to respect the gumption, right? I mean, Zach did show you something. He showed some cojones. He had a couple of pickups on third down. He also had
fourth down quarterback sneak.
And the fourth down's quarterback sneak. He also kind of had the game handed to him late with an awful play by Josh Allen, where it was the Jets' game to lose. And then, of course, he has Xavier Gibson save the game. But what you didn't get, I said this earlier, Michael, and I don't want to say it's profound, but I'll let you judge. He manned up. He did man up, but he did not ball out.
All right, I think that's fair.
He did not show us last night anything new. It's sort of how I felt about Sam Howell on Sunday for Washington. But you didn't show me enough. You showed me something.
There is
but not
something
enough.
that he showed me that the Jets need, though. All right, so I'll give you a little bit of the glass half full angle on this. The Jet offensive line is not great. He got away from a lot of sacks. He can do that. He can get away. He's got great feet. He can scramble. He can keep plays alive. Sometimes a little bit too alive, because then he tries to do too much. The time that he ran toward the right sideline and threw across his body, it almost got picked off. Those things have to end. And boy, Peyton Manning was hard on him, because those are things that he should have corrected by now. He's been in the league long enough. They should not be making the same mistakes over and over again. And I think the thing that gives them a little bit of a respite is that they won that game. So you can take a little bit of a deep breath. They didn't lose that game.
There is something to be said about the fact that they were 7-4 to start the season last year because of the weapons that they had. And then when you lose Hall, he tried to do too much. He gets hurt himself, and it just kind of all falls apart. if he can learn to not make that colossal mistake. Now that's easier said than done. Don't take that 25-yard sack like he almost did in the game last night. Don't throw the bad pick like he did earlier in the game last night. Now, because Michael, I can look at the glass half empty too and say they won the turnover battle by 3, and they still needed to go to overtime to beat Buffalo.
Yeah,
I'd be really concerned if I'm a Bills fan today. Really concerned because your quarterback looked awful. You know, your defense couldn't come up with a big stop late in the game.
That guy
against
from
the
Buffalo is going to yell at you, Don. He yelled at me.
I don't care. Then he's delusional if he's not concerned. And the Jets have his number. I get that, but come on, Josh Allen's a great quarterback. Not yesterday at all. He threw some really bad picks. That fumble was terrible. I would not be that thrilled with Buffalo moving forward unless you want to just give all the credit to the Jets for making them look bad. But let's see where Buffalo is.
Did you see
maybe they're not going to be that great.
Did you see the post on X by Mark Sanchez?
No.
It was hilarious. So when Josh Allen fumbled, he ran into his own guy, and Mark.
It was butt fumble adjacent for sure.
Mark Sanchez, imagine fumbling running into your own guy. Mark Sanchez is really a funny dude. He's taking that, and he doesn't shy away from it. He leans into it, and he's going to be a good broadcaster, too.
You know, because I was thinking, remember we had RG3 on yesterday, and he said that maybe he was just meant to be a broadcaster. Maybe the same could be said for Mark Sanchez. Even though it was a huge disappointment, I guess, his career overall, considering where he was drafted and not being able to follow up on those 2 back-to-back championship appearances. But, you know, maybe it was that was the road to take him to where I think he'd be a really good broadcaster.
By the way, he is even last year calling games when I've gotten him a few times for commie games. Mark Sanchez is very good. Very good.
Now
he doesn't get the hype as some of the others, but he's really good.
This is totally serious. I didn't tell Don and Peter I was going to do this, but I do want to take this time before we get to your phone calls because I need to make a heartfelt apology to Brian Dable. And I really mean this. So at the end of the 5 o'clock hour yesterday, I was told by somebody that Brian Dable had a big party on Saturday. And I said, well, that would indicate that they didn't think they were going to get blown out. If he felt good about the team, that's why he had a party. And then I found out I should have done more work. I'm a complete ass for doing this, and I feel sorry for any pain that I might have caused that family by insinuating anything. But I found out later it was a party for his 6-year-old. It was a birthday party.
Oh.
And, I mean, I should have dug deeper, and I didn't think it was going to be a big thing, but it became sort of a big thing last night, and I just want to cut it off at the legs and say that is on me, and I was irresponsible because I didn't check it out further, and I apologize to anybody that was impacted by my flippant remark about a party at his house. I didn't say it was a big bacchanal, but I did say a party. It leaves it open for any kind of interpretation. Again, it was a party for his 6-year-old son, a birthday party. So I just feel like a complete idiot, and I'm really, really sorry to Brian Dable, Brian Dable's family, and the Giants as well. They've always been very fair with us, and I am really, really apologetic. I can't put myself out there any more than this because this was a huge mistake. That's not the show we are. We're not a sensationalistic show, and I just made a comment not thinking it would be that big of a deal. And if it was a big deal, I apologize. I want to pull the rug out from under it. It was nothing. It was me being a jerk. It was his 6-year-old's birthday party, and it was in the afternoon. And again, I apologize to Brian and to his wife as well.
Well, because I've been to 5 6-year-old parties with the twins, and I would not describe them as raves.
Right.
This has never happened.
Trampolines, maybe.
This has never happened on this show before. This is usually reserved for the morning show with Ebro and Laura. But hold on, just for you, Michael, I got something. Hold on. Here you go. Wait for it. Oh, hold on.
Really? Congratulations, you played yourself.
There you go.
Yeah, it's awful. And you know, I know you're trying to make light of it, which I understand and I appreciate. But I felt I'm watching the Jet game last night, and this was all coming down, and I found out the real story. I couldn't have felt worse. I mean, that's just not who I am. I'm not that sensationalistic guy, so I'm sorry. And I wish I could take it back, but I couldn't. And the way we did it what? 30 seconds before ENN, so it wasn't like something that I considered big, but it's big to people that you're casting aspersions on that shouldn't have had those aspersions cast on them.
Yeah, I mean, especially because it was his kid's birthday,
Yeah.
so it's something that's so innocuous and nice. And
I was a complete ass, and I'm sorry.
listen, okay, I just want to say this right now. For the record, you're going to end up getting killed for this anyway.
Right.
Okay. And your apology is, I'm not Brian Dable, so I don't know how he feels, but I think you've said a lot. And further, we live in a market where people will say literally made up horrible things about people and never apologize. So I think you covered your ground nicely.
But that's why I felt the need to do, because we're not that show, Peter. We're not.
We are not. No, we are not.
We never have been, and I feel awful about it, so I am really sorry. All right? Now we can move on. But I wanted to get that out there. I said in the 5 o'clock hour, I want to apologize in the 5 o'clock hour as well. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to John in Phillipsburg. John.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I'll try to be concise, but I only got 3 hours of sleep for me. I was at the game yesterday, and just to kind of give some context. So last year I was at the Lions game, and, the offense isn't really moving, and then they let up that big play. But I found myself wanting to go to that Thursday night game because I just wanted to see kind of like the next chapter off of that poor loss against the Lions. So I go to the Thursday night Jags game. There's barely any fans in the parking lot. It's freezing. It takes me 15 minutes to light my charcoal, and I see Zach Wilson just fall apart in front of my eyes, and the fan base is just like completely done basically at that point. Last night was a totally different scene. The parking lot was completely full, and when the storms were rolling through, people were keeping an eye on it, but basically just still trying to have a good time. The downpour rolls through, the rainbows. I mean, the stadium, with the pregame was off the charts. I'm sure the people saw parts of it on TV. But, when Aaron Rodgers went down, it didn't really faze me too much because, like, being a Jets fan, it was just like, oh, yeah, that's what happened.
Really? You were expecting something bad to happen, John?
Not necessarily expecting something bad to happen, but I don't know. I mean, especially when I saw Testaverde coming out on the field. I mean, I picked up my Jets in '98,
right?
So I was like 10, 11 years old when we're rolling into '99. Testaverde taking the field for the pregame. I'm like, oh, I wasn't expecting to be clapping for Testaverde today, but Rodgers goes down. I lean over to my dad like, Rodgers is down. The kid's coming back in. We got a long game ahead of us. And, I'm just kind of scrolling through my phone, just trying to get injury updates. That was kind of the move that everybody was kind of making.
So, John, when it got out on social media that it was something serious, did the steam completely get out of the crowd?
Not really. And really the reason why I wanted to call was because, last night was so special, and like I said, I only got like 3 hours of sleep, so the whole Rodgers thing is kind of coming at me slowly. But we're going into halftime down by 10, and it was like, all right, like maybe there's a football game to be had. We had a little bit of a run game going. The defense looked good, but I was thinking about halftime. Like what does that scene look like, especially after what we went through with Hard Knocks? And I was really just kind of imagining that, like, everything that Saleh says, everything that the team says.
Can you imagine, though, if Hard Knocks had another episode and covered this? Right. I mean, what Garrett Wilson said with Barton Hahn, I mean, it's heartbreaking. He saw Rodgers, and Rodgers said, I'm really sorry, kid.
That line, Michael, like broke me.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it was like it's like a character, from a movie. It's what's my man Tom Berenger in Major League, right? It's like this old grizzled veteran being like, I'm sorry, kid, I let you down. Like, it was unbelievable. I can't believe it happened. I still cannot believe it right now.
Well, football is back in full swing with another week of epic games. And who's got you covered on the action for every single one of them? Of course, DraftKings Sports.
Welcome to the Aura Sleep Lab. You need a bit more deep sleep. Getting enough high-quality sleep increases immunity. Why? Because sleep helps fend off sickness. A good night's sleep boosts your number of infection-fighting antibodies and cells. And with your Oura Ring, you can learn how to sleep deep and keep your immunity up. It's like having a sleep lab on your finger. Go to sleep with auraring.com.
Having a family is one of life's most precious gifts and biggest responsibility. At Colonial Penn, we understand how important it is to take care of the people you love at any age, on any budget. That's why we were among the first to guarantee life insurance for men and women over age 50. Acceptance is guaranteed for everyone between the ages of 50 and 85 without exception. Get the peace of mind that comes with knowing your loved ones will have help with the bills you leave behind.
Visit colonialpenn.com to learn more.
Trick plays, and if ever
the local hero, national champ, now he's home and expected to save the back and continue to go forward with hope as the plan.
What's up, guys? I wish this was in person so I could buy each and one of you a beer or something.
Last play of the game. Hey guys, am I dreaming or can we actually win this thing?
The most important tool on any job site in America is the one you wear on your feet for 40 hours a week.
Wait, what?
My name is Eric Gerard. I started Brunt Workwear in my garage for my buddies in the trades.
The modern construction worker has different needs than they did 100 years ago. That's why at Brunt, our gear is designed by workers for workers with premium technologies like triple layer comfort, slip and oil resistant soles, and a triple layer waterproofing system. Go online for free shipping and try any of our gear on the job for 30 days risk-free.
Having those high interest credit cards, it felt unmanageable. My name is Belinda, and with Upstart, I was able to save money with a personal loan. From the moment that I checked my rate to getting that approval was just a few minutes. I felt relieved having the funds in my account so quickly. I was able to turn all of those, big payments into one small payment, and I was able to breathe.
Easy online borrowing. Personal loans up to $50,000. Go to upstart.com.
Meet Away's iconic suitcases, redesigned with even more traveler-friendly features. In new colors, inspired by the world. More color, more luggage, more travel. Shop at awaytravel.com.
Everything you love from ShopRite is now in your phone on Instacart. Get free delivery on your first order.
This is Lucas.
No! You're cheating? You're cheating, bro.
You could use some focus.
You get good. No, you get good.
To make things go off without a hitch, turn to Alpha Brain. It's not hard to get. I mean, you know how to shop. Get Alpha Brain. Focus where it matters most.
1 in 3 people will have cancer in their lifetime. It might be a parent, a child, a partner, even you. So what does it take to make sure you're in the right hands? It takes MSK. We specialize in more than 400 different types of cancer, including the most important one, yours. Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, because where you're treated first matters. Call 833-737-0404 or visit msk.org/together.
It's amazing to think that my grandmother started Bigelow Tea right here in New York. And today, we're still a family company. And you have to remember, tea, that's all we do. So every cup counts. That means never compromising. My family won't let that happen. And our extended family, they give their all every single day. And our community, well, they expect that.
I want a cup of Bigelow Tea to be a moment just for you.
That's what I hope for.
We heard you, Jersey, clear and loud. So we built you a new Hard Rock app made for New Jersey. And we'll match your first deposit, throw in up to 1,000 free spins and more when you sign up for Hard Rock Bet. New fun and games added each month with more slots from Atlantic City. Brand new loyalty redeemed straight from your phone or in person. And our new top-rated sportsbook, the only place for flex parlays. Now our bets hit different because your app is different. Sign up now to get your first deposit matched up to 1,000 free spins and up to a $1,000 bonus bet.
to believe it.
Back to the show, everybody. Michael K. Don LaGreca, Peter Rosenberg on what should be a celebratory day with a great win by the Jets, but it comes with ramifications like you cannot even believe. So just awful. More injuries. Diamond Notes brought to you by London Jewelers. You can't make this stuff up either. Jonathan Loizaga before game one was put on the 15-day IL, so he's probably out for the rest of the year with elbow inflammation. Oswald Peraza, who's been one of the hotter kids that the Yankees called up, he has been shut down for the last couple of days because of inflammation in his knee. This is on top of the fact that the Yankees had to shut down Jason Dominguez, who has a torn UCL. You really can't make it up. You can't. I mean, sports is full of injuries, but I mean, the amount of injuries that have hit the Yankees this year, and they ended up winning the first game of this four-game set, 3-2. But yeah, to what avail? What does it all mean? But so many people have gone down, and we didn't even get a chance yesterday to talk that much about the Dominguez injury. But you were going to go into next year probably as he's your center fielder. You can't do that anymore. They have one outfielder next year. One.
And I know Harper came back after 6 months, but that was, a sick timeline.
And also, Don, he played first base and he DH'd. That's not going to be available for Dominguez.
No. So you're probably looking at, what did Boone say, 9-10 months?
Yeah, so that's June, end of June.
Yeah, June, July, and that's so that you don't have a center fielder.
Right, so you've got to go into next year with a new center. You've got to get a center fielder. You can't say, well, we'll patch it together for 3 months. So it's humongous. And then you lose Loizaga, who was out for most of the season because he had loose bodies removed from that very same elbow. Again, I know it's such a trite phrase, but you can't make this stuff up.
Well, and just in New York in general, you look at what happened to Diaz before the season even started with the Mets, and now with the Aaron Rodgers situation, and certainly even with all the biggest injury of all for the Yankees was what happened to Judge. So yeah, it's not supposed to derail seasons. It's always next man up. Injuries are no excuse, but there's certain guys you just can't afford to lose, Michael, that can derail your season, and you just don't have a replacement for.
It's unbelievable. If you look at the Yankee bullpen now, there are names you just don't even recognize. And then at least one positive today, David Stearns has been hired by the Mets, 38 years old, 5-year contract. He's going to be the president of baseball operations for the Mets, and he is so well respected around baseball. That is a positive thing for the New York Mets. This was the white whale for Steve Cohen, and he got him. This was the guy he was chasing. He's been chasing him for 2 years, and now he got him. And that they're going to keep Billy Epler as the GM, and the big decision is whether or not you keep Buck.
Now, it's just cosmetic. I think he's been running things from behind the scenes since August 1st.
You really want people to get fired, don't you?
No. August 1st was when his contract was up. It was right after the trade deadline.
No, he's still working for the Brewers then. He could talk to other teams then.
Yeah, but I think he was calling the shots since then. Why would you be firing up executives in your building and coaches and analytic people before your president comes in,
right,
who's going to become your president the very next week? So I think once August 1st came and there was nothing that was being done that was illegal, he was probably giving his opinion on what should be done. And now he's got, a month here or 3 weeks to evaluate what's going on with his team and hit the ground running in the offseason because there's a lot of work to be done here.
Those are Diamond Notes brought to you by London Jewelers, the engagement experts. Visit London Jewelers today at any of their 7 locations, including the newest location at the mall at Short Hills. We'll go back to the phones. Did you have something to say?
No, just that Peter didn't hold the door open for me, and I'm literally bleeding. My arm is.
Really?
I thought I gave it a push. Well, you gave it a nice push, and then what I did was
You thought you'd beat it in?
No, because I slid my arm to keep it open, and it clipped the window.
Oh my God! Oh!
And now I'm bleeding.
Why would you do this, Peter?
I didn't mean to. I thought I gave him enough time.
Listen, it's his fault, but it was just an accident.
You know what? It was like Rodgers. It didn't necessarily happen because he's old, but it doesn't help that he's old. You know what I mean?
Let's go to Mark in Dix Hills. Mark?
Hi, Mark.
Thank you, fellas, for taking me. Let me tell you something. This was like Sunday at the cemetery visiting your relatives. The New York sports teams are ridiculous. They're ridiculous. Don, we go back to the Rangers. Remember? The Rangers were built to win. What happened? The Yankees were built to win. What happened? The Mets were built to win. What happened? Let's get to the Nets. They were built to win a couple of years ago, and that's hard. And then the Knicks. Now we got the Knicks. This is the most disheartening thing ever going on, fellas. It's breaking all our hearts. This is New York City. This is the major place in the country, in the world. We can't get a winner. It's sickening, and I feel so bad. I'm a Giants fan. I feel so bad for Aaron. I mean, this is ridiculous. And the Giants, look at their line. They were like a girls' team playing the boys. I mean, they're nuts. I don't get this whole thing, what's going on. Michael, it's killing me. It's killing us, and it's killing you guys. I know it.
Well, I mean, don't beat yourself up physically. I know that if you're a Met fan, if you're a sports fan, it stinks. New York has really had kind of a black cloud over the sports scene for a long time now. I mean, we haven't had a title since 2009. So, I mean, New York Red Bull, the NYCFC.
Well, the Giants won in 11. So.
Okay, so since 11.
I mean, you know, some cities would say hold my beer.
But we have so many sports teams, though.
No, but but the circumstances are so strange that there was so much positivity, and rightly so, around the Mets and Yankees, around the Giants and the Jets, around the Rangers, to where we were having conversations about, hey, the things are turning around here. That we've got multiple teams that legitimately can win a championship, and you know, very good possibility both the Mets and Yankees will finish under 500. The Giants, I think that's probably a good bet they're going to finish under 500. Rangers get bounced in the first round when everybody thinks they're going to win a Stanley Cup. The Nets were a good, you know, they were a super team that didn't even come close to winning a championship.
ESPN announces that Monday Night Football yesterday, 22.64 million viewers. That's the most watched ESPN Monday Night Football game ever. Up 14% over last year's opener. And Monday Night Football with Peyton and Eli drew 1.52 million viewers. So a good night for ESPN, a bad night for Aaron Rodgers. Let's go to Steve in Middle Village. Steve?
Thank you for taking the call, guys. You know, based on what you just said, and one of you on the show is responsible for all of the angst and all of the things that have happened to New York sports.
All right.
There's one person.
Who is it?
Not you, Michael.
It's not me?
It is. No, it's not you.
Okay.
It is the man of the people. Don McGregor.
Wow.
What did I do?
Wow.
What did I do?
I think, you know, I listen to the show. I'm not really that big of a sports fan anymore, but I listen to the show because I like you guys.
Thank you.
And I've always liked Don. But, you know, Mike, you always say about, you know, if it's a perfect game, the announcer should be saying it's a perfect game. It's not a jinx. I'm not a jinx person, but Don jinxed it. He just said it. The Knicks could have gone into the playoffs. Early on, I don't think it was early this year or maybe in the fall, he was saying, after a few things have happened, he was saying that the Yankees and the Mets, you have a possibility of the Yankees and the Mets going for a Subway Series.
Yeah, I picked that, actually.
And, I mean, I'm not talking out of turn here. And then now you didn't really, you've never really said about the Super Bowl for the Jets, but you kind of indicated that
Steve, with all due respect, let's talk turkey. Steve, let's talk turkey. What the hell are you talking about, man?
I mean, Steve, you're going to blame a curse on Don.
But the Yankees and the Mets won a combined 200 games last year. Is it that crazy to think they could both go to the World Series?
Here's what upsets me.
What upsets you?
He's been on hold for like 3 hours for that. Why don't you? I like the idea. I would love to see Don completely unravel today. Who wouldn't? But he got to come prepared. He didn't. What was he trying to say?
I think he was actually a drone.
With what though?
He was droning. He was droning.
But was I supposed to not say that the Mets and the Yankees had a chance to go to the World Series when I believe they could?
So imagine that if we're supposed to not give those opinions, it'll be a very silent show.
I got to tell you, that was what just happened.
Unfortunate.
That phone call was the worst thing that's happened in New York sports in the last 24 hours. That's how bad that was.
Can we have the opposite of point guard?
Yeah, what's the reverse point guard?
Point mortal?
Michael, in case you're wondering, by the way, it's back 2 days in a row. The suit is back, second day.
Yeah, I see. What's going on? Why?
You know what? Like the great Owen Hart once said, enough is enough. It's time for a change. It was just... Because you know what it is? I'm turning on the mothership every day. I've been with this company 7 years. They're throwing lots of people on TV. They're not throwing any Peter Rosenberg on TV. So I say, you know what it is? They don't realize how good I am. I got to stunt on everybody on the network too.
You know, that's a
it's
good
not
idea.
that it's not that I need to be better, more talented. They're all very talented people. I need to prove that I'm better looking.
So let me see if I could encapsulate this, if you'll allow me. You're watching a lot of people get jobs at ESPN and getting paid inordinate amounts of money, and you're going, why not me?
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I know for a fact that in some cases I'm a much more intriguing talent.
Interesting.
So I'm like, why? I have things to say. I've got takes galore. I've got strong opinions.
Why don't you get him on this show?
You think the wardrobe was holding you back?
Oh, I mean, listen, if you were to, I'll tell you this to this day, I believe Stephen A. Smith does not take me seriously as a talent because of how I dress.
Oh, no question.
Like, I don't think Stephen knows that I'm good.
He doesn't let anybody on a show without a suit.
I know, and he never sees me dress well, so this is for Stephen A. Smith. You want it? You're going to get it every day. Okay?
Yeah, you'll get tired of it like you did before.
Back to the original point. Can we go like point guard, and then how about point poop?
Point poop. What a point earlier. Speaking of poop, Michael, earlier on the show, Don revealed.
How about point slob?
Yeah, I like that.
What did Don reveal earlier?
I won't tell you what he did because apparently it may be making an appearance in the near future.
Oh, there you go.
Interesting. Hey, enter the ESPN New York No-Hitter Sweepstakes.
Do it.
For your chance to win $25,000. Find the No-Hitter tile on the ESPN New York app, pick a team, and submit your entry. Today's qualifier is Ronald Izzo from Lynbrook, New York, who's chosen New York's American League team to throw a no-hitter today. Presented by MoheganSunCasino.com. For full contest rules, go to ESPNNewYork.com.
Don is bleeding profusely.
Yeah, well, you know what? He has to suck it up because he has to tell us about Caesars.
That's right. Have you heard about the newly renovated Caesars?
Friends have been telling friends about Colonial Penn Guaranteed Acceptance Whole Life Insurance for more than 50 years. And with good reason. If you're between the age of 50 and 85, it's a sure thing. Your acceptance is guaranteed because full benefits are not paid in the first 2 years. And the price? Options start at $9.95 a month, less than 35 cents a day. With Colonial Penn, your rate is another sure thing. It will never increase. And you should know this coverage can last a lifetime.
Call today, 1-800-290-3100.
Beautiful ladies, loving it. Beautiful family, jealous. Bride, it's the best day of your life. There's that smile. That's a keeper. Let's get the lucky men in here, huh? Oh. All right, we got it. Groom's bed. Okay.
Some days are just too important for a trashy suit. Rent from thebblacktux.com.
Trick plays, and if ever
Local hero, national champ, now he's home and expected to save the franchise and continue to go forward with hope as the plan.
What's up, guys? I wish this was in person so I could buy each and one of you a beer or something.
Last play of the game. Am I dreaming, or can we actually win this thing? It's a perfect pass.
Welcome to the Aura Sleep Lab. You need a bit more deep sleep. Getting enough high-quality sleep increases immunity. Why? Because sleep helps fend off sickness. A good night's sleep boosts your number of infection-fighting antibodies and cells. And with your Aura Ring, you can learn how to sleep deep and keep your immunity up. It's like having a sleep lab on your finger. Go to sleep with auraring.com.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. Join and get free ground pork and drumsticks for 3 months. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
Meet Away's iconic suitcases, redesigned. Mix, match, and look good everywhere. More color, more luggage, more travel. Away. Shop at awaytravel.com.
1 week to crunch? Yeah, totally fine. Just gotta hunker down and focus. When you have to go into crunch mode, reach out for some help. It's not hard to get. You want to be the best at whatever you do? Get Alpha Brain. Focus where it matters most.
Fighting in every state, every day to defend your rights and the rights of all people.
We have got to be here. We've got to be strong to protect those rights.
For over 100 years, the ACLU has fought for everyone to have a voice and equal justice. And we will never stop. Because we, the people, means all of us. To learn more about defending our democracy, go to myaclu.org today.
Within 15 seconds of logging onto social media, the algorithm has your daughter in its crosshairs. It sends her a steady flow of images telling her she isn't thin enough, pretty enough. They invade her brain, causing body dysmorphia, anxiety, depression, leading to the worst rates of eating disorders, self-harm, and suicide we have ever known. All while she's sitting right next to you on her phone. Congress knows, but it refuses to act. Don't let her suffer the secret pain alone. Use your voice. Demand a plan. Join us at the Center for Countering Digital Hate. ProtectingKidsOnline.org. Because it's up to you to protect your children from social media nightmares. Join us for her, for your daughter.
When I hit 80, I needed help around the home. A friend of mine told me to call Freedom Care, and they'll pay my granddaughter to take care of me.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nana gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay and how fast you can get started.
For us, our expectations don't change.
I just believe in this team a lot.
This is a team that has a lot of good players. This group gets to tell their own story.
Tommy John has been dedicated to elevating underwear for over a decade. Now, we're proud to reveal our most premium men's underwear yet. This is Apollo. All new, ultra breathable, rigorously tested for durability, and enhanced with exclusive dry release tech. We've upgraded the softness and the level of comfort, so don't be surprised if your confidence is upgraded too. Experience high-end for your rear end at TommyJohn.com and get 20% off your first order.
Really sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, it's just not, it just seems inappropriate for the day that we had, but it was a fabulous point.
All right, let's go back to the phones. 1-800-919-3776. Carl in Long Island. Carl.
Hey, yeah, you know, there's a biological reason why it doesn't smell like vanilla. It's because it's filled with lots of bad things that is supposed to keep people away. That's why.
Well, God can do whatever he wants.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for taking my calls, guys. I appreciate it. I need to vent. You know, before one of the callers said that he did expect this to happen, so did I. I've been talking about this for weeks, that Aaron Rodgers was going to walk out on the field, trip on a twig, and break both legs, because that's just what it's like to be a Jet fan. Now, I didn't really expect it to be that bad, and I can't believe that this is actually happening, just like everybody else, but it just makes me think that, looking at the offensive line last night, I wonder if it honestly makes any difference, because even if he was on the field, if he only has 2 seconds to throw, are they really going to be able to be a winning team? Now, of course, it makes a difference. I'm being facetious, but, I just don't understand why Joe Douglas, who's great at drafting talent, puts together such a good team, ends up drafting another defensive end and another running back. Well, we have such a desperate need on the offensive line.
Well, maybe they thought the offensive maybe they misjudged it, Carl. That's what's scary. Maybe they thought their offensive line was fine.
I mean, I don't know who could look at Mekhi Becton. I mean, it felt like they had questions about Mekhi Becton the whole preseason. But the other thing I'd say is maybe they could make a trade for Tyler Huntley. I mean, the Baltimore Ravens have a need at running back. We have more running backs than we need. Maybe we could trade somebody for Tyler Huntley. But honestly, Michael, you were talking about before, why roll with Zach Wilson? Because right now that the Super Bowl is not going to happen. So what's the best-case scenario for the season? The best-case scenario for the Jets is to see if we could squeeze any juice out of Zach Wilson and see if there is any future there.
Yeah, but you're saying that the Super Bowl is not going to happen. But, Carl, the playoffs could happen. This is a great defense, not a good defense, and your running game is exceptional. Well, so why are you saying that, okay, the Super Bowl, you want to not make the playoffs and see Zach Wilson crap the bed again?
But then you'll have closure, I guess, is the point.
You didn't have closure last year, Don. It couldn't get worse than that.
They don't. I mean, I'm just saying, I do, but they don't. Clearly, they don't. They still believe there's something there. Now, maybe that's ridiculous optimism, or maybe it's Joe Douglas just defiantly trying to defend his second overall pick in the draft. But they see something. They believe something, and they can go out and get another quarterback and maybe have success, failure, whatever. But it looks like they want to see if this guy can do it. And if not, all right, well, we're done. We're going to move on. We've got some talent here. It's the best case scenario for him. Now, maybe you believe Carson Wentz would be better. But Carson Wentz isn't any kind of long-term answer and can be just as bad. And what did you learn? If they don't want to give up on him, then I guess you send him out there until there's reason to give up. And they obviously see something.
I don't know if they see something, John, other than the fact that they're desperate. They don't have an answer. They just don't have an answer. So you have to send somebody out there. You need a quarterback.
But the fact that there might have been answers at the end of last season.
Right.
To say, all right, we're going to go after Aaron Rodgers, but we're not going to have Zach Wilson be the backup if something happened to Rodgers, and they didn't do it. So why, Michael? Wasn't because of cap space?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Brissett was available. Washington got him this offseason, right, Peter?
Yeah. Just happened.
So they looked at him. I think Jacoby Brissett, to me, it seems like a better backup than Zach Wilson. They disagreed. They really felt that, I guess, Zach was the best option of what was available.
Yeah, because I heard Greeny make the argument because that it's about money and cap space. But Greeny, come back to me. It wouldn't have been a major cap issue to find someone for $2 million. There are plenty of things they could have figured out that would not have been a major issue for the cap.
You know what I have here, guys?
What's that?
Let's bring
I bet it's the Yankees starting lineup.
Yeah, let's bring it all into perspective here. Starting lineup on 98.7 ESPN is brought by Bigelow Tea and Corona. Esteban Florial, center fielder, leading off. Batting second, DH. Aaron Judge. Gleyber Torres at second base hits third. Cleaning up the catcher, Austin Wells. Isaiah Kanafalefa at third base will bat fifth. Batting sixth and playing first base, Jake Bowers. Oswald Peraza back in there at shortstop will bat seventh, so Volpe has a second game off. Oswaldo Cabrera is in right field. He can bat eighth, and batting ninth and playing left field is Everson Pereira with Carlos Rodon on the mound. That is tonight's Yankees starting lineup, brought to you by Bigelow Tea. Bigelow Tea, a proud supporter of the Michael Kay Show and the official hot tea of the New York Yankees, and Corona. Enjoy the finer life of sports. Corona, the official cerveza of Major League Baseball. Let's go to Jared in New Jersey. Jared, what's up?
Hey, Michael, Don, Peter. First off, I'd like to say thank you. I was one of the lucky callers that was able to attend the game yesterday, courtesy of the station.
Oh, cool.
Okay. I brought my dad, so I'm very grateful for that.
We were able to salvage it and have a good time?
It was, you know what, Don? The first, the opening intros, the first 10 minutes was unreal.
The best.
You talk about electric. It's something I've never witnessed before in my life. It might have been one of the highest highs, quickly followed by one of the lowest lows. I mean, that stadium was absolutely deflated when he went down. One of the earlier callers said that the stadium wasn't quiet. You could hear a pin drop in there. When Stephon Diggs scored that touchdown towards the end of the second quarter, all you could hear were the Bills fans. It was just unreal. Going into the halftime, the vibes are so down, and then, ironically, we come back and win the game. I don't think that Zach Wilson is the answer. You even saw yesterday, the only reason we won that game was because Gary Wilson pulled off one of the craziest catches you'll ever see.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know what to do with this season. I'm a negative guy, so I don't think we can do anything with Zach Wilson. Defense is amazing. Running game is unreal. But, you need a quarterback. That's what we thought we had in Rodgers. And
well, here's the one thing that I mean, this is what I would hang my hat on. This guy was the second pick in the draft. There's something in there. Maybe the new offensive coordinator can unlock it. Maybe the fact that they won the game last night gives him some confidence. Maybe. He's got unbelievable weapons now, so maybe he takes a deep breath and we could find some of the greatness that was in there that made him the second pick. That's what you have to hang your hat on. If they're dead set on playing this guy, that's the way you have to bet. Is that fair, Don?
And I don't want to judge him solely on last night. I mean, you're not, even though you're prepared to play, but, you don't take any snaps with the first team all week. Robert Saleh confirmed that when we had him on. And you get thrown into the Wolves in a really tough spot. Now he's got, a week to prepare, unfortunately, against a really good defensive team in Dallas. But there's a chance with a better offensive coordinator, weapons, and Aaron Rodgers maybe helping him out, that you might get a much better version of Zach Wilson than you got last year.
All he has to do is hit a couple of passes, and then it opens up the middle for the running game. But until he hits passes, you're not going to be able to run. They'll put everybody in the box. That's all there is to it. Just hit a couple. He doesn't have to be Joe Namath. He doesn't have to be Patrick Mahomes. Just hit a couple to keep the defense honest. Michael Kay here for Amazon Hub Delivery. Amazon Hub Delivery is looking to partner.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic, free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. Join and get free ground pork and drumsticks for 3 months. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
You've got big goals? We've got new ways to reach them. New ways to make that cheddar, bacon, bread, dough, cabbage.
Cabbage?
Because right now, people are ordering all those things on DoorDash, the top platform with the most opportunities and the best tools to help you reach your goals. Pick up, drop off, cash out, Dash now. Sign up at DoorDash.com/goals.
Welcome to the Aura Sleep Lab. You need a bit more deep sleep. Getting enough high-quality sleep increases immunity. Why? Because sleep helps fend off sickness. A good night's sleep boosts your number of infection-fighting antibodies and cells. And with your Aura Ring, you can learn how to sleep deep and keep your immunity up. It's like having a sleep lab on your finger. Go to sleep with auraring.com.
Managing my credit card debt was overwhelming. I felt like I was in a race that I couldn't win. I felt backed into a corner, and it just wasn't a good place to be. My name is Carter, and Upstart helped me get rid of that credit card debt with a personal loan. Checking my rate with Upstart was super quick, super easy. It took me a few minutes to get my pre-approval and to get my interest rate. I got my money the next day. I was like...
Easy online borrowing. Personal loans up to $50,000. Go to Upstart.com.
Trick plays, and if ever
local hero, national champ, now he's home and expected to save the franchise and continue to go forward with hope as the plan.
What's up, guys? I wish this was in person so I could buy each and one of you a beer or something.
Last play of the game. He goes. Am I dreaming, or can we actually win this thing? It's a perfect pass.
It's so important not to be frightened of those mistakes.
Instead of E. Masterclass. Is there anybody else like you? No. Do you know anybody else like you? Nope.
You got this.
Masterclass. $10 a month.
When you learn from the best, you become your best. With thousands of online lessons. Now just $10 a month.
This is Alpha Brain. If your gym workouts lack focus, Alpha Brain is there for support. Look, it's not hard to get, all right? You know how to shop. If you've got a lot going on or need to think clearly, get Alpha Brain by On It. Get focused now.
Or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Ask your specialist about Dupixent.
Tourists. Tourists that turn into scientists. Tourists photographing thousands of miles of remote coral reefs that can be analyzed by AI in real time. So researchers can identify which areas are at risk and help life underwater flourish.
Get your heart pumping with Well Life NYC on the Yes app. Take a tour of the hottest gyms.
Excited to have you here.
I love to have fun when I work out.
And the coolest places to chill around New York.
First, I'm going to be freezing you at negative 200 degrees.
This feels so good.
Let's see what happens.
Catch an all-new season of Well Life NYC, streaming now exclusively on the Yes app.
Welcome to ENN. Ray Rowe.
On Tiwi.
Oh, that's right. On Tiwi. I'd like to start off by saying good evening to Michael.
I can't pull out and say I'm out.
And to Don.
Why do you gotta be a hater?
And to myself. Do you want it? You're going to get it every day.
Why do you gotta be a hater?
That doesn't even sound like you.
No. Was that my exchange with...
No, it was with me. It was when I said... What idea did he have that I shot down in a heartbeat? It was like a quarter.
I think it was jet-like positivity. It was something along those lines.
It was one particularly unrealistic one. It was like a quarterback idea. It was something. I was like, but that's not happening. And you said, do you want it? You're going to get it every day. I'm sorry, you said.
Why do you gotta be a hater?
Well, I can't do it now. All right, guys, if you didn't hear it, we had the Jets head coach, Mr. Robert Bartholomew Saleh, on the show with us earlier. Here he is being asked if Zach Wilson is the guy.
Zach Wilson's our guy. Really excited for his opportunity and excited for him to show the world how far he's come.
How you like that, Michael? Excited for the world to see just how far he's come.
No, we got a little peek yesterday. He hasn't come that far. I mean, he played better, I thought, than he did for a lot of the games last year, but he doesn't seem like a guy who reacts well to when things don't go well. So maybe this carries over, but boy, that's a tough defense to face next week or this coming weekend.
We also asked Coach Saleh, will you be looking for a quarterback who could potentially challenge Zach?
We are going to look for a third quarterback. I don't know what that looks like or what I have much detail on that right now. Tim Boyle will be elevated to our to the backup quarterback. But this is Zach's team. I think people get confused sometimes, and I think we play the game of Madden in the outside world in terms of like, hey, let's just go get this quarterback, plug him in, and he'll be good. There's so much detail that goes in the quarterback play, understanding the playbook, all the nuance that's been created over the course of OTAs and training camp and preseason games and all the different meeting times and all the conversations that are had in the locker room. And to expect someone to just jump in within a week or two and pick up on all that nuance is kind of unfair, not only to the individual that would be asked of that, but to the entire organization as a whole.
All right, so let me ask you.
So I think when people look at those circumstances, it just doesn't work that way. So we're going to look to add a guy just so we can get a third quarterback. But for anyone to expect that third quarterback to jump in and compete, I think it's just unrealistic.
Don, who was the backup quarterback for Hackett in Denver last year? Do you know off the top of your head? Because that's the guy to bring in.
Backup quarterback for Hackett in Denver last year.
Someone who knows the system, you're saying.
Yeah.
Right, he knows the system. And that does make sense what Saleh said. It doesn't solve the problem that I've been talking about all summer. Why is Zach Wilson your backup quarterback? Because now it's hard to scramble out of this because he's right. You can't just bring somebody in off the street and expect them to pick up the system and feel comfortable doing it. That's unfair. So for the time being, I guess it is Zach Wilson or bust, but you should never have been putting yourself in this situation. There should have been a better quarterback.
It was Mark Rippon's kid, Brett Rippon.
And bring him in.
That's right.
You remember that? That sound familiar at all?
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson was on with Barton Hahn and his reaction to the injury.
My heart hurts for Aaron. First off, just seeing him last night and the emotion, that was going into him getting out there, being out there, and everything that we had put in this offseason to be able to play, in the games, and it sucks, man, because, you make it through a whole training camp, you make it through OTAs, something that he didn't have to do by any means, but he wanted to be there, and he did everything the right way, and then to see it all go down like that in our first game is heartbreaking, and my heart with him, I'm praying for him, man. It sucks, bro, and that's just, the reality of the game we play is that stuff like that can happen, and you never want to see it happen, but yeah, man, you just hate to see it, and I'm confident that he'll go about it the right way. He's seen it all in this league, and he's got my support 100%,
Well, this is when, this is one of the big jobs a coach has. I mean, Saleh has to coach games, obviously, but to keep your team engaged and not feeling defeated after all your plans go down the drain after 4 plays, let's see what Saleh has. Let's see if he has the team's attention, because you've got to keep them from feeling sorry for themselves.
Another name that's been thrown out there, he hasn't played in a while, is Blake Bortles, because he was with Hackett in Jacksonville. But he has not played since 2019.
Well, that's not good.
I wouldn't think so.
No.
I'm good.
I think they're good. Honestly, I was thinking about it all last night. I think they're good with Wilson. Whether you believe it or not, whether you think it's the right decision or not. Because why wouldn't you have gotten a veteran? It would have made sense to get a veteran. Even if you believe Zach was going to be the backup quarterback, Michael, wouldn't it have made sense to just get a veteran in there to back up? Didn't do it. And it wasn't because of cap space. They had plenty of cap space.
I don't know that I've ever seen or anything like that. What's the comp? You guys have any remotely close comp?
Yeah, it's Vinny.
I guess that's the closest one, but Vinny's a bit different.
But Vinny had been there before. Like, is there anybody that is a new acquisition that changes the complexion of the organization, gets you from not believing to completely believing, and he's out in the very first game?
Right.
Ooh, like, can you think of a baseball player?
It's not the first game, but Kevin Durant getting hurt again with the Nets.
But just right away, immediately.
I don't know if there is a comp.
I'm just trying to.
And it's the year, right? Like, because Kevin Durant came into Brooklyn with the big injury already and rehabbed as a Net,
but then hurt his knee. But that was later. Edwin Diaz comes close. But that's not a new addition. Yeah. But to me, that derailed the Mets season right away.
It did. That was heartbreaking. It didn't have nearly the drama, the pomp and circumstance of last night. We have audio. No pressure, Anthony. I don't want to throw something at you and have you yell at me, but you don't happen to have the audio of Bob when it happened, did you?
Oh, yeah, we got that.
I'd like to hear what it sounded like right here on 98.7 ESPN, because we all, most of us, if you were at home, you went through the eyes, ears, and voice of Mr. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. Here's what it sounded like here on 98.7 with Bob Wischusen.
Aaron Rodgers in the shotgun, Cook to his left. Takes the snap, drops back, looks over the middle, under pressure, and he will be sacked back to the 32-yard line by Leonard Floyd. So the Bills get a big negative. And Aaron Rodgers gets up with a limp. Aaron Rodgers right now doesn't look 100% right.
Well, that's a delayed blitz because he's got Leonard Floyd, the right defensive end.
Aaron Rodgers is sitting down in the field. He's hurt. 11:15 to go in the opening quarter, and Aaron Rodgers is injured on the sack by Leonard Floyd. And the Jet training staff surrounds him, and Zach Wilson pops up and starts to get ready and take some warm-up throws.
Nightmare. It's the sounds of a nightmare. You could just play the Halloween music. Here's Marty and Bob a bit more afterwards when the cart comes out.
And Bob, just an update on Aaron Rodgers. They're bringing out the wagon over there by the blue tent. Looks like he may go back in and get some X-rays done.
Hard to believe.
Yeah, let's make it. This is what it really sounds like.
And Bob, just an update on Aaron Rodgers. They're bringing out the wagon over there by the blue tent. Looks like he may go back in and get some X-rays done.
Hard to believe.
A literal horror show last night. What did you think it was at first, Michael? Because at first, I really, when they showed the replay many times, I saw that little moment where it looked like the front of his cleat kind of got stuck in the turf. But I kept seeing it, expecting to see something really bad, and to me, I just kept thinking it's an ankle. Like
That's what I thought. I mean, again, the first time that I even knew it was happening was on the radio, listening to Kevin Harlan, and they thought it was an ankle too. But then ESPN had that incredible replay, and Adam Schefter brought it up. You see that kind of shimmy in the calf, which many doctors around the country right away said, well, that's an Achilles. So there was kind of a vibration that you could see if you slowed it down in the calf, and that's when you knew it was not good.
4 plays, no completions, no yards gained. Aaron Rodgers, the 2023 season.
2023 season, 4 and out.
Robert Griffin III, our buddy. He talks about Zach Wilson, what kind of option he is for the Jets.
There's not a guy on the street or in any booth anywhere, including myself, that's going to give the Jets a better chance to win than Zach Wilson. None of us know the offense. Right. None of us have those relationships in the locker room. It's going to be Zach Wilson or nobody this year for the Jets, and they got to accept that.
I don't know if he has great relationships in the locker room. They turned on him last year for Mike White.
That is true, but they did rally around him last night.
Well, I mean, they had no option at that point, but they threw him under the bus last year.
Isn't it strange, though? Quarterbacks, it's such a weird position because they'll have moments. He had moments yesterday, guys. He had a couple of darts in big spots where you go, that's a good ball.
Third and long that he was able to complete, and the quarterback sneak on 4th down. That wasn't all bad, but there was a lot of dysfunction as well. I mean, that pass was not a good one to Wilson for the touchdown. I mean, that could have been deflected up in the air and intercepted just as easily as it was caught by Wilson.
And, Michael, has there been a more under-the-radar hero because of everything that's happened than Jordan Whitehead?
Oh, my goodness. What a game for him.
Are you kidding me? 3 picks for number 3? Wild. Sauce Gardner was not great statistically yesterday. If you check the rating in terms of passes thrown at him, however, he did have, Don, I don't even know how big an offensive pass interference it was late that they called on Diggs in that big spot.
That was clear. I thought it was pretty clear.
To me, I thought it was sort of ticky-tack, but I think it's a credit to what Sauce Gardner, how referees already look at Sauce Gardner. He is already that dude. I tweeted about that, and of course everyone goes, excuse me, I guess you're not looking at what the numbers are on Pro Football Focus right now.
Wow.
Yeah, because I said, the second you look up and saw that play, it's Sauce Gardner, you know it's offensive pass interference. And Don, how quickly these people will go into numbers these days and throw them at you. He's given up 52 yards, 4 for 4 in the second half. Yeah, but he's still Sauce Gardner. That's part of the reason the ref throws the flag.
It's funny. I mean, all these people that rail about analytics, when they want to win an argument, that's what they fall back to.
Oh, boy.
They'll find some number out there that will prove them right.
I have a question for you. When the ref saw separation, the separation happened between Stephon Diggs and Sauce Gardner, and they saw Sauce Gardner go flying back. Were they thinking, real quick, are they thinking more about the fact of what the Pro Football Focus says about targets at Sauce Gardner today? Or the fact you see number 1 a certain way, you see players for who they are.
I get it, but it's not like Stephon Diggs is nobody.
He's no yo-yo.
He's more established in the league. He's been around a little bit longer.
I thought that was a real gutsy call. It was a good call.
And this is an offensive league, right, Michael? So usually they'll give the benefit of the doubt to the wide receiver, but I thought it was pretty blatant. Didn't you, Michael?
Yes.
I mean, you saw him extend his arm.
Especially after the replay.
Moves backwards.
Yeah.
It's funny. I thought the reaction was more than the Whatever. Either way, great play by the Sauce. You end up getting a huge penalty there. And we can talk a lot about this football team, but we're not going to talk about the defense having many problems yesterday. They were really, really solid through and through. Let's go to the Giants for a second. You want to hear from Darren Waller?
Sure.
Yes.
Here's Waller speaking about the turf situation at MetLife.
I mean, everybody in the league probably want to play on grass. I'm pretty sure they've changed the turf at MetLife from before because of like the injury rate that it had compared to other ones. And playing on it on Sunday, I mean, I guess we had like monsoon rains to deal with, so I probably wasn't that focused on the turf. But yeah, I mean, everybody in the league would rather play on grass. It doesn't matter who you ask.
I did notice for the first time the other night, I heard Greeny talking about this too, the weird, specks of turf all over Daniel Jones's face the other night.
Yeah, look like freckles.
Crazy, right? It's very strange.
Well, it's ground up tires.
It's not what you want.
No.
Well, apparently they do because they put it in there.
Let's hear from Micah Parsons talking to Bleacher Report about his thoughts on Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones is not a bad quarterback. I know. Some of you may think that he is a bad quarterback and why re-sign him? You have to remember, Daniel Jones just went against top 3 defensive teams in the league. They're still learning to gel together. He's still learning how to be the guy. It's only his second year with Brian DeBoer, so he gets grace. I think nowadays we don't give the same grace as we do with guys like Peyton Manning when they came into the league.
That's another pronunciation of Dable's last name.
I've never heard that.
What are we going to do? We got to come to this is a challenge for one of you guys, Anthony or Jacob. Over time, we need a good compilation of every version of this guy's name. It's the most basic name that gets butchered the most.
I don't get it. And the guy has come out and said it's Dable, like table. It's an easy way to remember it. It's just and you get it on like professional broadcasters too. I don't get it.
Brian DeBoer.
Show the man some respect.
It's not about respect. They did. I got interviewed by someone last night on ESPN Radio, like the national show. They called me to do a little.
That's because you're all dressed up.
Yeah, they were all right away. They were impressed, and they definitely said Robert Salah.
Well, that was that caller that always used to do that too.
Well, that was intentional, but some people do that unintentionally, just wrong. Last night, in fact, Jacob says Peyton Manning did it a couple times.
Salah.
Yeah, he butchered Robert Salah's name like 3 or 4 times.
That's tough.
Wow.
You hate to see that. Chris Canty responded to what we had to say about him yesterday.
Oh, no.
On the new national morning show, Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Unsportsmanlike. Sorry. I got it. Just unsportsmanlike, right?
I made it a hockey. I like it.
Yeah, Don, I'm always thinking about the puck.
That's right.
Here's Canty responding to the show. I hope we're not hurt by this. Here we go.
If you're asking me who would I rather have, I'd rather have Kyler Murray than Daniel Jones. I'd rather the other regret because the other regret has more talent. And I've seen the other regret be a guy that resurrected a franchise that couldn't get out of its own way. Kyler Murray was the driving force, the biggest change agent in Arizona. That's not the case with Daniel Jones and the New York Giants. Daniel Jones wasn't the biggest reason that team went 9-7-1. It was Saquon Barkley who had 1,600 yards from scrimmage last year. It was a defense that was very opportunistic. It wasn't about Daniel Jones. He had 15 touchdown passes. How could it be about the quarterback getting the program turned around? It clearly wasn't him, but at least I can point to the talent in Kyler Murray and say, if I got this guy, he can make other guys around him better. Right. I have never been able to say that with any degree of conviction or confidence about Daniel Jones. So why are we going to sit here and say that if things continue to trend the way that we saw them on Sunday night against the Dallas Cowboys, if things continue to trend the way they have since Jones has come into this division where you keep getting thumped by the Eagles and the Cowboys, why would we think the Giants wouldn't consider going in a different direction at the quarterback spot?
After one game.
I'll just let it sit. I don't even have to respond.
One game,
it spoke
Chris.
volumes by itself.
That was the whole Kyler Murray part. We didn't even speak about Kyler Murray.
But, I mean, he's turned on this guy in one game?
But that's your take from Sunday? It was the Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones, all right, 15 touchdown passes. I believe he ran for 7.
Yep.
He didn't turn the ball over. So, yeah, Saquon was a driving force, but to say Daniel Jones didn't have something to do with them being a 9-win team. Meanwhile, Kyler Murray has crippled the Cardinals. Crippled them.
Right. They gave him a suffocating contract, and they're losing to try to get his replacement. So how good is he?
See, it's the Kyler part that's complex is there's obviously a thing that's deeper with Kyler than his play on the field. Because we have seen Kyler Murray play really good football before. But we also hear the things about him not preparing. Anthony, what was the crazy stat you would give about his record the day after the new Madden would come out? Like Kyler Murray literally couldn't win games after. What game was it?
Yeah, it's Call of Duty.
Literally, when the new Call of Duty comes out, you lose Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
So because I heard Greeny completely poo-poo Kyler Murray.
You go from Call of Duty to poo-poo. Be careful.
Greeny said he absolutely would take Zach Wilson over Kyler Murray. I don't know that I'd be so quick to say that. I have seen Kyler Murray play good football, but there's a lot that goes with Kyler Murray.
And it's not his fault that the Cardinals gave him that contract. But his best year, when he went to the Pro Bowl back-to-back years, he hasn't thrown for 4,000 yards. He's had 26 touchdowns, 20, 26, and 24 his first 3 years. There's no question there's talent, but it also hasn't worked out at all, and they're going to move on. Are you ready to say that Daniel Jones is ill-prepared? Are you going to say that he was anywhere near the problem?
Have you guys
on Sunday?
Have you guys already heard this story? I'm sure you have, about the petty Wisconsin bar.
Yeah.
Yo-yos.
Who decided
made out okay.
Yeah, they decided to do a deal at Jack's American Pub in Milwaukee for free drinks if the Jets lost. It was supposed to be like a good riddance to Aaron Rodgers party. Then, of course, things went horribly wrong. Now, listen to this. Cheers erupted at the bar when Rodgers was injured in the first quarter.
People are awful.
Not so much out of spite, but the realization that the bar tabs would all be free. So people began to then run their tabs up to the max, assuming the Jets would lose. Of course, that did not happen.
No.
The Jets come back, and all these yo-yos had to play their big, fat tabs.
What do they say about karma?
It's a biatch?
It's a B.
Yeah.
I do think they should make this. Tell me I'm wrong. Given what happened on Sunday and Monday night, don't you think this should be the theme music every time you set foot into MetLife Stadium?
Yeah, scary.
Every single week. We didn't get much time for this at all today. Don, you were right. Don called this early. Don Stradamus. The Mets are hiring David Stearns as the president of baseball operations. Kind of slides under the radar today, given the news of the day, but
38 years old.
38 years old.
And a Met fan.
Jeff Passan, as Jeff Passan, our very own, described it on Twitter, the new era of the New York Mets has begun. That will do it for ENN on this Tuesday evening.
This is the biggest front office signing by a baseball team since the Dodgers signed Andrew Friedman. That's how valued David Stearns is.
Wow. And a hell of a commissioner.
No, that's David Stearns. Yeah, Epler stays on as GM. But, I mean, his powers have been greatly reduced. Greatly reduced.
He's an errand boy now.
That's a tough fall.
Well, I mean, it's a tough way to describe it, but the heavy lifting is now going to be done by Stearns.
Are you saying that Epler has become like Spider in Goodfellas?
No.
I hope it ends better for him. Well, you thought I said I'm all right, Spider.
Yeah.
So Dan Gross is coming up next. Is that the way we're looking at it?
Oh boy,
yeah, devastating.
He had Roger Goodell on the pregame show yesterday.
Sure, Vinny Testaverde on the pregame.
That's pretty good.
And then
all went south. Then it all went south.
You're going to want to hear this open, I'm sure.
Oh, it's going to be strong. Will you run to your car, Don, so you can hear it, or will you stay there live?
I'm not running.
You're not running.
I'm not staying live either. I'll get what I get.
No, because he probably texted you the whole thing.
No, I sat down with him like a gentleman.
You think they go over the show every day?
Of course
together?
they do. All their thoughts and dreams, hopes and dreams. Anyway, Yankee baseball coming up on Yes. Game 2 of their doubleheader. They'll try to...
That's a wrap on the show for today. Coming up next, our coverage of the Yankees and Red Sox. Game 2 from Fenway gets underway with the pregame show. For all of us here on the Michael Kay Show, this is Chris Sheeran saying, have a great night. We will see you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
Friends have been telling friends about Colonial Penn Guaranteed Acceptance Whole Life Insurance for more than 50 years. And with good reason. If you're between the age of 50 and 85, it's a sure thing. Your acceptance is guaranteed because full benefits are not paid in the first 2 years. And the price? Options start at $9.95 a month. less than 35 cents a day. With Colonial Penn, your rate is another sure thing. It will never increase. And you should know this coverage can last a lifetime.
Visit colonialpenn.com for free information and a free gift.
Welcome to the Aura Sleep Lab. You need a bit more deep sleep. Getting enough high-quality sleep increases immunity. Why? Because sleep helps fend off sickness. A good night's sleep boosts your number of infection-fighting antibodies and cells. And with your Aura Ring, you can learn how to sleep deep and keep your immunity up. It's like having a sleep lab on your finger. Go to sleep with auraring.com.
Jeff has a problem. It started when he ordered his Brunt work boots. He's beating them up 14 hours a day, going on about how they're comfortable as sneakers, but he never takes them off. At my place, with his buddies, at night. I caught him in the shower, and he just goes, "What? They're waterproof." I don't know if we're gonna make it through the 30-day risk-free trial.
Of course they will, babe. They're super durable.
I'm not talking about the boots, Jeff.
Brunt, the tools you wear. Try us on the job for 30 days risk-free.
It's so important not to be frightened of those mistakes.
Instead of Masterclass. Is there anybody else like you? No. Do you know anybody else like you? Nope.
You got this.
Masterclass, $10 a month.
When you learn from the best, you become your best with thousands of online lessons. Now just $10 a month.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. Join and get free ground pork and drumsticks for 3 months. ButcherBox.
Meet Away's iconic suitcases, redesigned. Mix, match, and look good everywhere. More color, more luggage, more travel. Away. Shop at awaytravel.com.
1 week to crunch? Yeah, totally fine. Just gotta hunker down and focus. When you have to go into crunch mode, reach out for some help. It's not hard to get. You want to be the best at whatever you do? Get Alpha Brain. Focus where it matters most.
For today.
Ronald Acuna Jr. Binging all his favorite rom-com movies. How did we get here?
You're all set. Refrigerator is fixed.
That's it?
That's it. All done.
Cool.
Ronald Acuna Jr. downloaded the new Front Door app to get real-time help from a video expert for his home repair and maintenance needs.
Let's go.
So all that's left to do is be done. Introducing Front Door, an all-new home repair and maintenance app. Download today.
Ma, are you sure you don't want to go bowling with us tonight?
Yeah, no.
There's my little marzipan. Oh, my daughter gives the best hugs.
We're just passing through on our way to the Jazz Jamboree. And we wanted to thank America's #1 motorcycle insurer for saving us money. Mara, your parents are
exactly like me. I know, right?
Well, cherish your friends and loved ones.
Let's roll, Daddy-O.
Let's boogie woogie.
10 years ago, we started Untuck It out of my apartment, and today we have more than 80 stores worldwide.
It's been quite a journey. We didn't just create shirts designed to be worn untucked, we perfected them. With great fabrics and design at the perfect untucked length, so you can look sharp in this new business comfortable world. Just look for our signature sale. Untuck It, 10 years in the making, and we're nowhere close to stopping. Visit untuckit.com or your nearest store today.
The
The Yankees held the slimmest of leads in the bottom of the ninth this afternoon when Clay Holmes got Alex Verdugo to hit into a game-ending double play. Those final 2 outs wrapped up a 1-run victory for the Yankees. That makeup game turned out to be worth the wait following Monday's postponement. Tonight, the Yanks try to sweep a doubleheader from the Red Sox, and we've got you for the next half hour before Game 2 begins at Fenway Park. We hope you're having a great night. Welcome to the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Bob Lorenz and John Flaherty with you. Second game of this series, second game of the day. Yankees, as we saw, pulled out that 3-2 win in the ninth inning today. Little switcheroo for the night game. Thought it might be Clark Schmidt pitching today. They push him to tomorrow. They put Carlos Rodon on the mound tonight.
Yeah, and the Yankees looking to sweep this doubleheader up in Boston at Fenway Park. And when Rodon goes out to the mound tonight, he'll be the first pitcher for the Yankees. Probably won't be the last, but he took a big step backwards in his last outing against the Detroit Tigers. Only lasted 3 2/3, gave up 8 hits and gave up 7 runs in that game. That's what the box score tells us. But the eye test watching him in that game, he was throwing his fastball a lot and it was getting hit hard against the Tigers, Bob. So he needs to figure something out here. He's a 2-pitch pitcher. The fastball hasn't been great this year. We'll see what he comes out with tonight. Maybe some more curveballs and changeups. But Rodon looking to kind of get back on track and looking to finish up strong.
You and I will do a deeper dive on Rodon coming up in just a bit. Right now, let's get the latest from Boston. Meredith Marakovitz has the Clubhouse Report, presented by your local Ford stores. And Meredith, never a great thing when we start with the injury report, brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. But there is injury news for the Yankees today, and it has an impact on the bullpen. Tell us about that.
Bob, it seems like it's been happening way too often this season. The latest one to be bit by the injury bug is Jonathan Loaisiga. He was placed on the IL just before Game 1 with right elbow inflammation. After the game, I had the opportunity to catch up with Aaron Boone to find out exactly what is going on with that injury and when Jonathan Loaisiga first started feeling something in his elbow.
Elbow. Just some soreness there, and I don't think a big deal, but enough to want to be cautious with it.
Does it have anything to do with the bone spur that he had earlier this year?
I don't think so, no.
So you don't think that it's a big deal to have it MRI'd, or are you having it MRI'd?
Yeah, I don't. He's going back to New York to get it checked out further, so we'll see. I don't have anything for you though.
Cool. He's obviously shown a lot of talent, but also had some injuries over the last few years that have kind of knocked him out. How do you kind of weigh the talent with the?
Certainly he's been every season's been interrupted. When he's going well, it's as good as there is, because he's efficient. He's got great stuff. He can get both handed out. He can go 1+ for you. He can fill any role, whether it's closing out a game or in the biggest spots. Like when he's going good, I don't know if there's much better in the league, frankly. But his seasons have been interrupted, pretty much every year.
When did he first start feeling something?
A couple days ago, just a little soreness. It's kind of lingered.
And there must be a tremendous amount of frustration for Jonathan Loaisiga. You heard Aaron Boone talking about it. His stuff is electric when he's right, but he just has not been able to stay healthy throughout the years. They will wait and see exactly what that MRI shows. In the meantime, with Jonathan Loaisiga on the IL, they added Zach McAllister to the roster. He signed a minor league deal with the Yankees in early August, but his history with the Yankees goes back way further than that. He was drafted by the organization back in 2006 out of high school. He was then traded in 2010 to Cleveland and jumped around a little bit. He last appeared in the majors in 2018. In between games, he was out on the outfield playing catch. I caught up with him thereafter and asked him what it feels like to not only be back with the Yankees, but to be back in the big leagues.
Kind of surreal. It's kind of full circle moment for me, and definitely excited to be here and to have my wife now with me and experience it. Coming up from Scranton has been awesome.
You were a top prospect back in the day. How different are you now as a pitcher as opposed to back then?
Drastically. New arm slot, different arsenal, and just different pitcher, different person, and just excited to be here and have the opportunity again.
What can fans expect from you?
Hopefully pounding the strike zone with multiple pitches and getting quick, easy outs. That's kind of what I'm hoping for.
As I mentioned, when your number is called, it's going to be the first time since 2018 you're on a major league mound. What do you think the adrenaline is going to be like?
It's going to be incredible for me. I think after a couple surgeries and being able to come back and step foot on the big league field, for me, it's just puts a lot of things in perspective, and it's been an awesome opportunity. Literally just walking into the stadium and seeing it's something I'll always remember.
You mentioned the surgeries. What has this journey been like for you?
Extremely long road. I mean, just kind of a couple of years of being completely out of it and just rehab, and this just makes the whole process worth it for me.
And you imagine that'll be quite the moment in the event his number is called and he gets the opportunity. He is an option out of the bullpen for Aaron Boone tonight. As far as the Yankees lineup is concerned, Estevan Florial will play center field and lead off. Aaron Judge is DHing in Game 2. No Giancarlo Stanton. He'll be available off the bench. Gleyber Torres will follow Judge. He had a big hit in Game 1, and Austin Wells is back in the lineup catching. He'll bat cleanup for the Yankees tonight. Oswald Peraza is also back in the lineup. He's been dealing with some knee swelling. He is okay. He's going to be in there at shortstop, so Anthony Volpe has Game 2 off as well. And Bob, when you said switcheroo earlier today, I thought you were talking about analyst John Flaherty. Welcome back to the party.
Thank you very much, Meredith. See how she noticed that? Meredith is on top of everything, even from Fenway.
All right, Meredith, thank you. We're going to see you in just a bit with Michael and Coney. Now, I want to remind you, as the Yankees play on through September, we want you viewers to show us how you're supporting the Yankees. Use the QR code on your screen with a hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and post pictures to social media that reflect your love for the Bronx Bombers. Toyota is the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Much more to come on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Up next, Flash and I will talk more about Carlos Rodon getting the ball tonight, looking for a bounce-back start after the Tigers tagged him for a season-high 7 runs in his last outing. A deep dive on Rodon is coming up.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is presented by FanDuel. Make every moment more.
People said I was crazy to do this. Just a surf coach who wanted to shake up the sunglass industry. I wanted something different, radical, and fun. I didn't want to blend in, so I created Blenders. Born on the beach in San Diego, now rocked with pride worldwide. We're bright, we're bold, at a price that everyone can afford. Don't blend in. Welcome to your new favorite shades.
Beautiful ladies, loving it. Beautiful family, jealous. Bride is the best day of your life. There's that smile. That's a keeper. Let's get the lucky men in here, huh? Oh. All right, we got it. Groom's bed. Okay.
Some days are just too important for a trashy suit. Rent from theblacktux.com.
It should go like day after day. I gotta go.
Deliver your way and on your schedule with DoorDash. And earn more with new and more ways to dash. Now you can dash groceries, alcohol, and even pet supplies. New ways to dash means more ways to enjoy what you do and more ways to get paid. Sign up now to make the most of every dash. DoorDash.
Cashback is good, but double cashback is even better. Discover matches all the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year, which is cashback at its best.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Cadillac. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer today.
Checking out the odds for tonight's game courtesy of FanDuel, the over-under is 9.5 runs. There are a variety of props you can bet on, including how many strikeouts you think the starting pitchers will have. You can also bet on players that hit a home run. Austin Wells is plus 680 to hit what would be the first home run of his career. And the longest shot among Yankees at plus 900 is Oswald Peraza, who only has 1 home run over 164 career at-bats in the majors, including the postseason. Odds are subject to change. You must be at least 21 years old and you must physically be in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, or Pennsylvania. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Download the FanDuel app now and start making every moment more.
We continue with our marquee matchup brought to you by Wendy's. It focuses on Carlos Rodon as he gets ready to face Boston. Compared to the last 2 seasons, now his first season with the Yankees, the strikeout rate is down, the walk rate is up, the home runs allowed have basically tripled, and he's second highest. That home runs allowed, by the way, the second highest in the American League this season. You mentioned earlier, he's a 2-pitch pitcher. That's what he is right now. As you break it down, start to start, what's going on with him? He started to get some swings and misses, didn't find that last time out.
Yeah, and I think we go back to the last couple of years. He was a 2-pitch pitcher back then when he had all of that success. But when you lose a little juice off of your fastball, and the miles per hour, the velocity is the same, about 95 miles an hour, a little bit above. So you're not losing velocity, but he's losing, I think, some spin and some life, because when he's trying to locate that fastball up in the zone, it is getting hit hard. And then when he misses down into the strike zone, that's just an average fastball with not a whole lot of movement. So I think that's the first thing that I notice. And when you're not getting hitters to respect your fastball and the swing and miss with your fastball, they're going to be able to take those sliders that are down and in off the plate. So now the question becomes, what does he have to do to fix it? And that's what I'm going to be watching tonight.
Well, does he do it with 2 pitches? I guess that's a question. And if he's going to continue to just throw 2, is it the lack of command, or is it just because he's throwing 2 pitches and that makes him predictable? If I'm a hitter, I'm sitting there thinking, I got one of 2 options here.
It's so easy to game plan, right, Bob? I mean, if you're facing him, if you're a right-handed hitter, you set your sights up for the fastball and you try to trust that you're going to take that slider down and in. I think there are a few things that can help Carlos at this point. When I watch the Yankee catchers, whoever behind the plate, it's going to be Wells tonight. Usually they're setting up middle of the plate, elevating their catcher's mitt to target, and that's where Rodon is setting his sights. At some point, he's going to have to start mixing that fastball on the outside half or maybe on the inside half and have a catcher move a little bit, especially when you get ahead in the count. The other thing, and you mentioned, is there going to be some curveballs, some changeups, maybe just a different look. And towards the end of that Tiger outing, when the fastball was getting beat up, I remember Matt Blake, the pitching coach, going out there and having a little bit of a talk. And Rodon did try to throw some changeups at the end of that game. That might be more of an emphasis tonight. We'll pay attention to that. But a young receiver behind the plate, Austin Wells, trying to get his traction offensively and defensively, is going to try to get a veteran pitcher back on track.
Well, that's the thing, get him back on track. But then can he then, in the infancy of his major league career, implore what you could consider a stubborn veteran like Rodon to throw a 3rd pitch maybe?
Yeah, this is where you have to change your personality behind the plate, right? If you're Austin Wells, you almost have to be in that pitcher-catcher meeting and saying, listen, there are going to be a lot of good opportunities for that changeup tonight, and I'm going to be calling it a lot. Now, if Carlos Rodon wants to shake that pitch off, that's fine. Austin Wells has to try to steer him to maybe introduce another pitch and then maybe just move a little bit more behind the plate. Again, I'm going to be paying attention to where he is setting up. Is it going to be that fastball up and in instead of middle of the plate? These are things a young catcher, and we've seen him so far, Bob. He's handled himself beautifully behind the plate, and word on the street is he's really into this pitcher-catcher relationship. So this is going to be a challenge for a young receiver tonight. I think he's up for it.
Let's take a look at the Red Sox lineup that he will face, courtesy of Toyota. Rafael Devers is out. They're stacking it with right-handers, Alex Cora is. Tristan Casas, by the way, is in there. His last 14, 365 hitter, 4 home runs, 15 runs batted in. He had 3 hits in the opener today. But what are your thoughts on Devers not being in this game, at least even DHing, because he's such a valuable bat?
Yeah, left on left. Obviously, Cora giving him a night off the second game of the doubleheader. But I look at Justin Turner, that DH, that right-handed hitter, and we've seen him throughout his career. He is such a great situational hitter. He has plenty of power, even at his advanced age. And I think about this matchup with Rodon. It is a 2-pitch mix where a veteran hitter like Justin Turner can pick his spots, trying to lift one over that green monster. That would be the hitter that I would really be locked in with if I was Wells, saying, you know what, this is the guy we got to stay away from in a big spot.
All right, we've talked about Austin Wells. He is one of 5 youngsters in the Yankees starting lineup for Game 2 against Boston. Flash and I will discuss the kids after another quick break on the FanDuel Yankees pregame.
Prescription eyewear can be really expensive, but here's a secret. Glasses don't actually cost that much to make. Surprise! Especially when you design your own eyewear and then sell it directly to your customers. Like we do. Oh hi, we're Warby Parker. Our glasses start at $95. including prescription lenses. And the best part? You can try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
Meet Away's iconic suitcases, redesigned. With even more traveler-friendly features. In new colors, inspired by the world. Designed to stand out. Blend in. And look good everywhere you go. More color, more luggage, more travel. Away. Shop at awaytravel.com.
5, 4, 3.
Ready to do something amazing? Let's go. This is where you learn new skills from the world's best. Get hands-on instructions and have something to show for it with Sessions by Masterclass.
I'm going to walk you step by step through what it takes to be a great singer.
You will become a more confident negotiator.
You're going to feel organized planning your wedding.
And once you're done with all that, you could do this, or even this. Roll up your sleeves and get started. Sessions by Masterclass.
Word is spreading fast about Colonial Penn's Guaranteed Life Insurance. Rates are designed to fit your budget, even if you are on a fixed income. To learn more about the life insurance plan everyone's talking about, log on to colonialpenn.com. That's colonialpenn.com.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
What's it like to play at Fenway? What's it like to play 64 games there in your career? I'm going to ask the dude to my left. John Flaherty's a .253 hitter at Fenway, 9 extra base hits, 10 runs batted in. You did have the 1 home run off Brett Saberhagen, by the way. Well done, sir.
Now, how would you describe that graphic right there? Not horrible? That's what I heard today. Not horrible is what I heard today.
Yeah.
So that's not bad.
That was our producer, Mike Medvin, said that. Said not horrible.
Not horrible.
Yeah. You played. Anyway, was Fenway, I guess, for different hitters, it's built for different hitters, right? I mean, we always think Rafael Devers, right? Lefty can pepper the wall. You were a right-hander, though, but it played to your strengths, too, right?
Well, it did later in my career. When I came up with the Red Sox, I had no idea what I was doing offensively, and I was trying to get out around balls, trying to hook it off of that wall, and did not have any success. As I got a little bit older and came in there as a visiting player, I was a pull hitter from the first pitch of the game. So I would get on the plate, and I would try to get the ball out in front and try to hit some fly balls to left field. Obviously, with the green monster there, that helped me with balls that you didn't click perfectly, would hit off the wall, maybe a single, maybe a double. So I learned how to hit at Fenway later in my career. But the one thing that you never truly learn, and we're going to talk about Austin Wells again, is how to call a game at Fenway Park. It is an extremely tough place to catch because you have the green monster to left field that not only righties can reach, the lefties like Casas tonight just goes out there and hits fly balls off the wall. So it becomes an increasingly difficult place to game plan for. With a pitching staff, you have the Pesky's pole in right field. And I remember Don Zimmer telling me my rookie year in 1992, he was a third base coach for the Red Sox, the game is never over at Fenway Park. Right. There are a lot of big innings that can happen because of the dimensions and that green monster. So you never feel like you're truly out of the game until you get that 27th out against the Red Sox.
Here's what's weird about it. We always talk about the likes of Gleyber Torres, Aaron Judge, think middle, think opposite way, Anthony Volpe. You almost change your mindset? Does the monster tantalize a right-hander to think, if I just pull that ball and hit what would be a fly ball, I can get a double out of it.
Yeah, if you go in with that attitude, you're going to be exposed, right, on that breaking ball down and away. I think the truly professional hitters go into Fenway Park and they don't change a thing. I always felt like it helped the left-handed hitters who were Red Sox hitters who were playing their 81 days. I saw it in front of my eyes when Mo Vaughn turned himself into an MVP-type player, where he would just take batting practice and pepper that wall, going to the left side, and it put him in perfect mechanics, not only for Fenway, that he can drive the ball over the monster, but when he took his game out on the road, his approach was left center field, and it turned him into a great, not only power hitter, but an average hitter. So I always felt like the monster helped the lefties a little bit more than the righties.
I feel like your breakdown of Fenway was not horrible.
Thank you, Mike Medved, for that. Appreciate
Let's
that.
get to the Yankees lineup, brought to you by Toyota. Aaron Judge on the road, by the way, a .295 hitter, 7 homers, 29 runs batted. Nice to see those two guys having a little pregame chat and get the game plan in order.
Yeah, game plan has already been installed. Now they can go out there and just relax and talk about it. And you see Wells hitting cleanup tonight, Bob.
Wells hitting cleanup. That's a good spot for him. Meantime, Oswald Peraza, he had a few hits in today's ball game, trying to get things going a little bit.
Yeah, good to see him. Volpe gets a night off, right? So Peraza play a little shortstop, and the good news, that knee, not that big of a deal, so he gets back in there and been swinging a hot bat lately. And you wonder with Anthony Volpe playing shortstop that Peraza spent all that time in the minor leagues, but he's made an impression since he's gotten back up, not only defensively playing third base, the way he's been swinging the bat lately, and gets an opportunity to play shortstop in this one, where we saw him last year, and he was very impressive defensively at short. So excited to see him get another start there tonight.
Red Sox sending out Cutter Crawford. He was supposed to pitch last night. He dodges maybe a little bit of a bullet, depending on how you think about Stanton, with no Stanton in there tonight, no Volpe. What do they expect with Crawford tonight?
Well, you see the good numbers against the Yankees in his career, 5 games, 3 of them starts, but he's fallen on some tough times his last couple of outings as well, kind of like Rodon, but he throws his cutter an awful lot, almost 30% of the time. So the right-handed hitters for the Yankees are going to look for the ball out over the plate. And again, just a guy who's trying to get back on track in a Red Sox uniform to finish up strong and make an impression for next year.
Well, Crawford would probably love to have this guy in uniform providing some run support behind him. Hall of Famer David Ortiz is in the house for action in this rivalry he helped define for so many years. We'll see you back here after this.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by G2 by Pilot, helping to write the next chapter in New York Yankees history.
5, 4, 3.
Welcome to the Aura Sleep Lab. You need a bit more deep sleep. Getting enough high-quality sleep increases immunity. Why? Because sleep helps fend off sickness. A good night's sleep boosts your number of infection-fighting antibodies and cells. And with your Aura Ring, you can learn how to sleep deep and keep your immunity up. It's like having a sleep lab on your finger. Go to sleep with auraring.com.
Hey. Hey. Rental? Yep. You? Yeah. You know your shoe's untied.
Oh! Don't let a boxy suit ruin your night. Red from theblacktux.com.
There's an easier way. From little fixes to big projects, taking care of your home is easy with Thumbtack. Download the Thumbtack app and start caring for your home today.
Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by New York Presbyterian. With world-class doctors from Columbia and Weill Cornell Medicine. Stay amazing.
Get you out to Fenway in a couple minutes for the call of tonight's game. It's the second game today. Yankees had to use some bullpen today behind Randy Vasquez. So realistically, you'd love to see Carlos Rodon, 5-6 innings, right? Not get that pitch count up too fast.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the key. We've seen in some of his outings the pitch count jumps a little bit. The big guys were used in game one. I'm sure Aaron Boone would like to stay away from them. So you got guys like Weissert and Ramirez, McAllister. We just saw that interview. It'd be nice to see him get back in a big league game. But really, the emphasis at the beginning of this one is Carlos Rodon not only getting his game plan in order and getting some swings and misses, but to your point, Bob, getting deep into this game so that that bullpen isn't going to be entirely beat up after a doubleheader.
And you hate to say it's about personal goals at this point, but if you're Rodon, you want to get rid of what happened last time and run through the tape strong.
Well, I don't think at this point in the year, Bob, you could say it any differently. It is about personal stuff, right? I mean, when you know that you're not going to be going to the playoffs and your season hasn't gone the way that he has wanted it to, and he's coming off this last outing against Detroit that we talked about, yes, he wants to go out there and see some success, not only for himself, but to show the organization, listen, I'm going to be one of your big guys next year. This was one of an injury-plagued year where I couldn't get on track, but you need to start seeing it, right? We've been talking about it, but you need to start seeing some of the swings and misses and that dominant left-handed pitcher.
Hard to read this game because it was 3-2 today. Not a lot of offense from either team. You got Cutter Crawford. You mentioned the last two. The numbers are up. What's your key to the game?
Well, I have two of them, actually, and it's pitch count and it's cutters from Cutter Crawford. The pitch count, when it gets over 60 for Crawford, the batting average jumps through the roof, and more importantly, the slugging percentage against really jumps. So if you're the Yankees, get that pitch count up, and you're going to have to pay attention to the cutter. He throws it a lot, almost 30% of the time, away from the righties, in on some of the left-handed hitters. So it's a weapon that he likes to go to a lot. If the Yankees can get to that pitch and get that pitch count up, you feel good about their chances in this one.
They have one win in the bag today, and they're sending out 5 young players. So, hey, guys, you're playing at Fenway Yankees Red Sox. Go get it.
I'm glad you brought that up. It's a pretty cool experience when you're a young player, seeing Fenway for the first time and playing at that park. It's a completely different experience. Hopefully they enjoy it tonight.
We're taking you out to Boston after this. Michael and Coney with a call, and Meredith reporting. We look forward to seeing you on the post game. Enjoy the ball game. Game 2 today. Coming up next on Yes.
Having a family is one of life's most precious gifts and biggest responsibility. At Colonial Penn, we understand how important it is to take care of the people you love at any age, on any budget. That's why we were among the first to guarantee life insurance for men and women over age 50. Acceptance is guaranteed for everyone between the ages of 50 and 85 without exception. Get the peace of mind that comes with knowing your loved ones will have help with the bills you leave behind.
Visit colonialpenn.com to learn more.
Trick plays, and if ever
local hero, national champ, now he's home and expected to save the franchise and continue to go forward with hope as the plan.
What's up, guys? I wish this was in person so I could buy each and one of you a beer or something.
Last play of the game. Am I dreaming, or can we actually win this thing?
Hey. Rental? Yep. You? Yeah. You know your shoe's untied.
Oh. Don't let a boxy suit ruin your night. Read from thebblacktux.com.
5, 4, 3.
Meet Away's iconic suitcases, redesigned, with even more traveler-friendly features. In new colors, inspired by the world. More color, more luggage, more travel. Shop at awaytravel.com.
Get exclusive offers on select new Volvo models. Contact your Volvo retailer to learn more.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
Bottom of the ninth inning. Game one, bases loaded, one out. Yankees holding on to a one-run lead. Clay Holmes gets the double play ground ball off the bat of Verdugo, and the Yankees win the first game of the day-night doubleheader. And now it's time for the night portion. As you see the sun setting, it is time for baseball. As the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the Yankees against the Red Sox in game two of a day-night doubleheader from Fenway Park. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball, along with David Cohn. I'm Michael Kay. So the Yankees win that first game 3-2, and in the words of Warner Wolf, let's go to the videotape.
Yes, no other explanation needed, right? I mean, it was really an uneventful game, as both pitchers really threw pretty well to start off the game, other than that one pitch to Rafael Devers, who does that a lot against the Yankees and enjoys it. And Nick Pivetta was really throwing the ball exceptionally well with 10 strikeouts early in the innings, and all of a sudden, things fell apart in a hurry, and that was the big blow there from Gleyber Torres that gave the Yankees a lead that they would not relent. A 3-2 ball game in the ninth inning, bases loaded, ball game. Nifty little turn from Gleyber, and Volpe there, and DJ on the end sprawls and makes the catch, and Holmes loves it.
Well, Holmes loaded the bases to get into that trouble, but you see what he's done the last 6 games, 3 for 3, 2 hits, those 3 walks and 5 strikeouts. As for Gleyber, 7 homers, 15 ribbies, 998 OPS in the last 21 games. So the Yankees go for the sweep, and with game 2, they send Carlos Rodon out to the mound, and so far this year, he's been kind of a mixed bag.
Yeah, I mean, he started out behind the 8 ball with the injury and missed almost half the season, and since he's been back, it really has been a mixed bag. I mean, at times, you really see some explosive stuff, and he does have strikeout stuff, especially the high fastball and the slider, but he's predominantly a 2-pitch pitcher, and when he misses his location, those balls are leaving the yard this year, in particular on his fastball, and then his curveball and slider have kind of rolled at times, and he's paid the price. So Carlos Rodon looking to salvage his year this year and show the Yankees what he can really do.
All right, so in his 10 starts, 2-5, 6.60, all those numbers he's looking to improve upon. He hopes he can start tonight. Not starting in the second game is Kyle Higashioka, but boy, he has been on fire of late. On Sunday, the walk-off hit the first of his career. In game 1, 3 more hits. He's had a pretty good offensive season. He talks with Meredith Marakovitz when we return right here on Yes.
Meet Away's iconic suitcases, redesigned. Mix, match, and look good everywhere. More color, more luggage, more travel. Away. Shop at awaytravel.com.
Welcome to the Athletic Basketball Show.
Folks, the league is in absolute chaos.
Players going off pretty much every other
playing picture that, when it clears, could leave a few future Hall of Famers.
It might all come down to some rookie taking free throws. Scorers on pace to break the
The Athletic. Subscribe today.
Welcome to the Aura Sleep Lab. You need a bit more deep sleep. Getting enough high-quality sleep increases immunity. Why? Because sleep helps fend off sickness. A good night's sleep boosts your number of infection-fighting antibodies and cells. And with your Aura Ring, you can learn how to sleep deep and keep your immunity up. It's like having a sleep lab on your finger. Go to sleep with auraring.com.
Beautiful ladies loving it. Beautiful family, jealous. Bride is the best day of your life. There's that smile. That's a keeper. Let's get the lucky men in here, huh? Oh. Ah, we got it. Groomsmen. Okay.
Some days are just too important for a trashy suit. Read from theblacktux.com.
1 week to crunch? Yeah, totally fine. Just gotta hunker down and focus. When you have to go into crunch mode, reach out for some help. It's not hard to get. You want to be the best at whatever you do? Get Alpha Brain. Focus where it matters most.
Welcome back to Yankees Baseball on Yes. I'm Meredith Marakovitz. The Yankees took Game 1 of this 4-game series 3-2 earlier today, and Kyle Higashioka played a significant role. He had 3 hits and was solid behind the plate. After the W, I asked him how much he enjoys catching those young pitchers like Johnny Brito and Randy Vasquez.
It's really exciting. I mean, I've loved working with Brito and Randy this whole time that they've been here. I think they bring a lot to the table, and just with more experience and more learning at this level, I think they're both going to be pretty good.
You kind of embrace the role of mentor to the younger catcher?
Yeah, I mean, Wellesley and Benny, I'm just trying to, I guess, take them under my wing as much as possible, and make sure that they're learning as much as they can, and hopefully it helps.
Speaking of young catchers, Austin Wells is in tonight's lineup. He's batting cleanup. We are inching closer to first pitch here on the Yes Network. When we get back, Michael Kay will be joined by David Cohn.
Dupixent helps you do more with less asthma and can help you breathe better in as little as 2 weeks. Dupixent is an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma that's not for sudden breathing problems. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Get help right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Ask your specialist about Dupixent.
They'll be here in 5. We ready?
There's a...
Oh.
We'll just put books here, and that looks fine.
That's bad. There we go.
Ooh, that's no good.
I can just go.
Yeah. Can you do that the whole day?
That works. I can't
Not
stop.
a big deal.
I can't stop.
I don't have it.
Left. Perfect.
We should have used Bear.
Today, let's paint, spray, and stain with Bear, America's most trusted paint brand.
Was the fridge here before?
Yes. Bear, exclusively at the Home Depot.
A truck is a tool, but a Ram is life. It's the let's load up the ATV's life. The my kids play way too many sports life. The let's find a secret spot to fish life. Nice. Discover how Ram powers all the lives you live during Ram Power Days.
During Ram Power Days, get $1,500 bonus cash allowance on 2023 Ram 2500 and 3500 heavy-duty pickups. See your Ram dealer today.
Childproofing is hard. So we made one thing simple. Duracell lithium coin batteries. They're the only ones with a bitter coating to help discourage swallowing.
Hey, used to have a silver tooth and I was just a pup. I don't wanna get the feelings, I be trying to see what's up. I let shorty clean the business, I'm a diamond in the rough. Hey, first order of biz, no snitch, and I try to keep it silent, but the kids don't listen.
Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by the Amtrak Guest Rewards Preferred MasterCard. Say hello to bonus points. Learn more at Amtrak.com/apply. By BP. Visit a BP or Amoco station and fill your tank with Amoco Ultimate with Invigorate. Keep on moving. And by FanDuel, make every moment more. Some center fielders through the years here with the Yankees and the Red Sox. Bobby Ray Mercer. We miss him to this day. Bigger crowd on hand for Game 2 of this day-night doubleheader. Yesterday's game rained out, so first game was at 1:35, and the Yankees won that one by a score of 3-2. They were trailing 2-0, but scored 3 runs in the 6th. Big base hit by Gleyber Torres gave them the lead, and then the Yankee bullpen did what it does, and now the Yankees are just a game behind the Red Sox to move into a tie for 4th place, or you could look at it, if you're a negative person, for last place in the American League East. So just one game behind in the loss column to try to avoid the 5th last place finish in the illustrious long history of the New York Yankees. So Carlos Rodon is going to get the start for the Yanks, and for the Red Sox it will be Cutter Crawford, And Rodon, as David mentioned in the open, looking to right his season. He missed the first half of the season. And still we're looking for the Carlos Rodon from the last 2 years, David. He was really one of the best pitchers in baseball.
Yeah, dominant force on the mound. One of the best left-handed power pitchers in the game. Predominantly a two-pitch guy. Has never really found his rhythm as of yet, and still looking to kind of show the Yankees what he can do. His teammates, the organization, the fan base.
Now, we mentioned this in the first game as well. The Yankees 72-72. They have been a 500 or better team for 30 straight years. That's the second longest streak in baseball history to the New York Yankees, 39 in a row. I don't know if it means something to the players because they haven't been here for all 30 of the years, but David, I think it means something to the organization. That's a thing you can hang your hat on.
Yes, it is, and it's just an incredible number. 30 years on the line, and they sit there at 72-72 before this game starts.
Aaron Boone is talking to the umpire and said, let's go. The time of the game, let's go. It's supposed to be going on now. Anyway, as they decide, we'll take a look at the keys to the game brought to you by your local Kia dealers.
Well, right on cue, it really comes down to Carlos Rodon's command. His walk rate's way up so far in this abbreviated season. He's usually a strike thrower, and it's almost doubled his rate in this season so far. And then Estevan Florial, can you tell he's one of my favorites? I mean, it's hard not to root for this guy, seeing him in the leadoff spot tonight. And then late, because of the split doubleheader, there's a lot of good bats on the bench. Boston's got Devers on the bench. Yankees have Stanton on the bench, so pinch hitters late might be a factor.
All right, so the Red Sox take the field. We'll take a look now at the starting lineup brought to you by TikTok. Florial, David's talking about him. He's in center field leading off. He was 0 for 4 in the first game. DH Aaron Judge. Second baseman Gleyber Torres. Cleaning up as the catcher, Austin Wells. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa at third base will bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing first base, Jake Bowers. Oswald Peraza, the shortstop, going to bat seventh. Batting eighth and playing right field, Oswaldo Cabrera. And Everson Pereira is in left field, and he is going to bat ninth.
And Cutter Crawford on the mound at Fenway Park here tonight. This will be his 20th game started, and actually pretty good numbers across the board. And let's check out the Nissan Pitcher Scouting Report for Cutter Crawford. He's always had good fastball life, a combination of riding and running action. Has good vertical life and horizontal life to it, and that makes it very effective. He's a strike thrower. Major league average is around a little over 8% for starting pitchers. For all pitchers, he's well under that in the 6% range. And pitcher's pitches, he gets you to chase because he is a strike thrower. His off-speed pitches, a slider and other off-speed pitches are the pitcher's pitches that he gets the high chase rate on.
Let's take a look at the Red Sox defense presented by Buick. Ref Snyder is in left. Rafaela is in center. And Duval is in right. Urias, Story, Reyes, and Casas third to first. Wong behind the plate. Turner the DH. Crawford is on the mound. Game time weather presented by Bigelow, the official hot tea of the Yankees. 74, that's the way it feels. Not much of a chance of rain. Humidity 85%. The wind out of the east-southeast at 6 miles per hour. So all the pertinent information is in your hands now. And it is time for baseball.